Visited the Racine Correctional Institution for a game of hoops and, more importantly, a day of honest conversation. Current and former incarcerated individuals talking about not only the criminal justice system and their experiences, but moving forward.
It's as if the lines intersect.
Being fair, because we cover sports and here do basketball, we throw to a lot of pieces in their fight. It is rare you're sitting there and it's like, you know what, it's all of a sudden who's got the onions and all, because you could tell the sincerity of that moment. For Stan and I, through the screen, try and put into words what that day was like being there watching that.
It was crazy because that's one that's in my hometown, Racine County. And the minimum security prison that I was at and that I served time at, it was literally 50 yards away. And mass incarceration always been dear to my heart. It's a generational curse that, plagued the black and brown communities for years. And what I try to do is, come back and bring resources. And we try to talk about real trauma and real issues, and we try to bring those things to light. And I was just, it was heartfelt because, Giannis and the Bucks, I didn't think Giannis wasn't be able to make it. I reached out to him. He was like, big bro, I'm gonna be there. And he came and he poured into the inmates, and that's something that they'll remember forever. And also, it was therapeutic for them because they was able to get a lot of heavy liftings, things that was sitting heavy in their soul, off their chest, and start the rehabilitation process.
The other thing is, I would imagine, because I think people sometimes they deviate. Hey, my life can't be like an athlete's or like a coach or something. Everybody's the same in the fact that perspective is something we wish we carried every day, but we don't, right? MLK Day and Jackie, all these different things, any kind of Mother's Day. It's like we should be that way, getting chocolates every day, but we're not. How much for even the players do you think, and having been through experiences like that, do players need to kind of remember, hey, look, there's all these stresses, but the fun of the game is where you live comparatively to kind of the way that things could be, because it's hard not to take perspective out of what we just saw.
No question. But before I get to that, we got to be proud of this guy.
Oh, God.
I know I am.
Appreciate you, Coach.
And what he's gone through to get there and then go back and help. And he's been that kind of person, and proud of him. And you're right about the perspective, but I think even more so, it's what was said in that piece. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we're just all people.
Yes.
We're just in different circumstances. And you've got to be inspired by those guys who somehow find hope and a reason to live and do things in very difficult circumstances. And then we've got these things we complain about that are meaningless in our life. And these guys can, they're having fun. I don't know how they do it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I always say to my son who's 5, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that could be for anything. If you could give, for people who weren't in there, but who might need it just as much, if not more, who are watching, because everybody is in a different space, what place do you go back to when you think about the moment where that process began of, hey, look, I got to find a way to take the right turn and change things?
I think it's all about addressing your traumas and things that, has hindered you and, kind of forfeited your future to this point. For me, I was honest with myself, and I had a real moment where I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, in order for me to really be the best possible version of me, I have to address this head on. And I did that, and I was better from that point. And what I try to do is talk to the inmates and tell them, identify the problem, address the problem, and when you come back into society, you're the best possible version of you.
Well, kudos to you for paying it forward, because no disrespect to paying it forward in basketball. We always talk about that, paying it forward with life experience, way bigger. But they still want us to do basketball, so therefore, awkward change. And here we go. Let's talk about that ball again. And yes, Kyrie in the building. So is Giannis. Center stage, Bucks, Nets. Oh, boy. Jared Allen, a little bit too late. But Kyrie he's looked, Coach, like he's moving okay. I mean, we started to watch it right with the health. He looks okay.
Oh, no question. His quickness is there. He shot the ball fine. Yeah, I think, it'll take him a while to get acclimated with the team, but other than that, he's playing well.
There's Mouse in a house, and then there's Dinwiddie a couple of times in these highlights getting stuck down there with Giannis here. Separates from Allen with the fade. Lead 14, but it's always about those other scorers and will they and can they in the postseason. Middleton, consistent performance, Caron continues.
Look, I love the way that Chris Middleton is putting the ball on the floor and becoming that consistent second option for the Bucks.
Giannis, 29 points, 12 boards, and get off me, an 18-point advantage with 8 to go in the third. Kyrie trying to keep the team in it. He had 17, 6 boards, 6 assists. Off the screen, Brook Lopez can't do anything, lead 20, but too much Middleton again, Coach. He had 20 points in the game.
Yeah, look, and the Bucks, this is what's crazy, didn't even play that well. They had 20 turnovers. Giannis had 8 turnovers, but they can always lean on their defense. They held the Nets to 33% from the floor. Think about this. The Bucks have 38 wins right now.
Already.
There's 3 months to go in the season. The Nets are going to make the playoffs if they stay on this pace, with 36 wins for the entire year.
As great as Kyrie can be, you're not winning many games if Dinwiddie and LeVert combine for 17 points.
Well, but that's their challenge, right, Casey?
You gotta have more.
Kyrie back, is there room for those other guys? That's going to be the offensive challenge.
There's another guy coming with the Pelicans back soon. We've heard of him, but soon. Not yet. That guy, early, soon, often, B.I. has been a star first half of the year. But what about Kawhi?
Oh, he's good too. Yeah, he's good too.
You think?
Yeah, he's
Steal,
very good.
finish, lead 4, and then Lonzo goes to work. Coach Ball, triple-double, 18 points, 10 boards, 11 assists.
He's been playing really well. Every day that goes by, and especially in this last month, it looks like David Griffin did a tremendous job when he was forced into trading Anthony Davis to get a good return.
I like showing the inside work. Favors one end, Harrell the other. Montrez at 24, 9 of 11 from the floor, and B.I. Caron going to work.
There's nothing this kid cannot do. He is an all-star in my eyes this season, the career year he's having.
The way he played last year after Zion High were here.
Whoa, stay awake, big fella.
Grant, make a phone call. Wake up. Come on, brother. Wake up.
It's like that Tylenol PM?
Favors, 22 and 11, but a lot of Kawhi.
Oh man. That's the
Joe
big
and
hand,
Josh
though.
Allhart. Then Jackson Hayes.
Coach, you like this kid.
I'll tell you what, he was great tonight. He's great on the pick and roll, really quick to the rim. Like to see him rebound the ball a little bit better.
Lou Will, scoring? You're kidding. Yes. Plenty of that. But would it be enough? Well, yeah, this guy too. How about Kawhi with 39? 5th consecutive game, Caron, 30-plus.
Hey, that's a clear case of right there, him making that shot. The mid-range is not dead. And look at Sweet Lou, sizing you up, introducing you to hip-hop, dice game, pick up your money, put it in the side pocket.
We talk about pickups, deadline. Will the Pels push, stay, not go? Philly would have hoped that they had said, please don't go to J.J. Redick. They missed him at 19. Hart, the grab of the board late. And then this, the inbound. Redick for the tie, no good. Clippers get out on the road, but again, defensively, wow, you still get something. Memphis got 140 on them. New Orleans gets 130 on them. I know PG not there, but remember, all those other guys who were there, they played really good defense last year.
Yeah, no,
It's weird.
On the year, their defensive numbers have been good, but they've had a couple of outlier games where they haven't been real strong. And if you don't come with it, this New Orleans team can really score. Had they made free throws tonight, New Orleans would have gotten out of there with a win.
He has been perfect in every way, playing basketball, and he ripped his shirt like Hulkamania. Now he's on center court yet again. Luka, the Don. We'll talk about that in a bit, but first, always the Don, and a man of many words is Kawhi. Take a look.
Kawhi, how important is it that you guys on this 6-game road trip get off to a good start with a nice win here in New Orleans?
It's very important. We want to keep building as a team and get better every day, every game. And, it's important to get that win.
5th consecutive game for you with over 30 points. What does it mean to get in this kind of groove right now?
Well, it means a lot. I'm just happy that we won tonight. Doesn't matter if I score 30, 10, 20. I just want to win a basketball game.
What'd you think of your team's defense, something that Doc has been talking about a little bit?
We did better in the second half. I think we did pretty good in that fourth. I got to look at it, but, they scored 130 points. They were shooting a high percentage, so we still got a lot of work to do.
Thanks, Kawhi.
Thank you.
Kawhi, he has looked very, very good. So is the dude to the right. That's
going to be a good one.
And an evening.
That's going to be a good one right there.
Doncic, by the way, the best part is when he beats you, it looks like he's going in slow motion. And people still can't stop it. You'll be here 6 Eastern with a warm-up to get us started. Let's get you warmed up for what's coming, because there's more around the association, including in the Big Apple, where Big Ben came to town. Pockets, and then you just basically just follow LeBron's lead. It's usually going to work out pretty well. AD, no AD, doesn't matter. W's have been coming. The consistent play defensively when they've needed it has been there too. Was late with some big stops here, and from 3, finishing touches. For LeBron and the Lakers, 124-115 the final. Kuz, who's played better basketball and has certainly gotten more shots with AD off the floor and more space to do so, but taking advantage of it. And for Russell Westbrook and James Harden, combined 69 points, 43 shots, and a loss. Here's LeBron after the game.
We made adjustments at halftime. We had a couple breakdowns defensively. One of them was putting James to the line, I think 8 times in that first quarter or that first half, which coming into the game we said we didn't want to do that. But we made adjustments, and we was able to right that in the third, kept it going in the fourth, and was able to close the game out.
I know he got his points, but James Harden was 2 for 9 from 3. You didn't let him beat you from deep. Yeah. What were you guys doing defensively against him?
Well, I mean, listen, he's one of the greatest scorers we ever seen in this game. And he's going to take some shots. He's going to make a lot, too. But one thing about it, we had to just try to keep him off the three-point line and try to keep him off the free throw line, even though he got some late in the fourth. But anytime he went into his dance, went to his ISO, we just try to put a second body, make him get a ball up. And then some of the ones that he missed, we had some good containments and some good contests, so that worked out for us.
With Anthony Davis still out, Kyle Kuzma really picked up the slack tonight. What did you like about his game tonight?
I think offensively, he was very good. But defensively, in that second half, he took the challenge on Russ, who had a 20-point first half at us in the first half. He took the challenge in the third quarter and got stop after stop after stop, rebounding, and allowed himself to get on the break and get some easy ones. So, big step for the young fella.
And for a washed king, what's it like to hear the MVP chants on the road? I know that's probably not new for you, but here you are, 17th year, MVP chants on the road.
Lisa, it's so humbling, and I'm still making my fans proud. I'm still playing the game that I love to play. And being able to do it at a high level with a great team and a historical franchise like the Lakers, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. So much appreciation to the Laker faithful that came out here and supported us tonight, and hopefully we made them proud.
Always great to see you. Congratulations.
Good to see you too, Lisa.
Mike.
So a big win for the Lakers, yet another added to the list, and LeBron continues to do his thing, looking spry and excited and all of that. And I want to talk Houston, because I feel like everybody kind of elephant in the room. They kind of like talk about it, and then, we get to look. James Harden is maybe the toughest one-on-one Caron scorer to guard ever. I know people don't want to hear that, but what's in the bag, it's like a piñata. There's more coming. But 69, 70 shots, and they don't win the game. Doesn't something have to change? Been a lot of these the last few weeks here for Houston.
Look, I think you still give it time. I think that these are two guys that want to play with each other, despite a lot of people outside of that infrastructure, that circle. I think that they enjoy playing with one another, and they haven't been getting the results as of late. But I think James has taken a step back, specifically in the OKC game. That was a game for Russell to get, huge numbers and hopefully a quality win, which did not happen. And also against the Portland team that, didn't equate to a win either. So they're trying to figure it out, but I think they'll be fine going forward.
How hard is it, though, a coach and player can help me on this, if I'm not trusting you consistently and keeping you in rhythm and that confidence where it needs to be, how tough is it to then decide in different spots, right? Like, hey, this game, we got to work here. When these guys are standing around a lot and watching the game when 2 other guys have the ball, Stan.
Well, yeah, look, it's not easy to be those other guys on Houston's team and to keep yourself involved in the game. Capella gets involved because he's a pick and roll guy, but then there's the 2 corner standers. That's their position on every play. You have right corner and left corner. That's the position you play in Houston. And it's tough to keep yourself, I think, at times enthused in defending. I give P.J. Tucker a lot of respect. It's not easy to go stand down there on offense and then still stay committed defensively. It takes a different type of guy. Look, I just don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough around those two guys. I don't think they have enough diversity in their offense. And while their defense has been a little bit better, even in this stretch of losing 6 games in 11 nights, in 11 games, it's not good enough to carry them when they have bad offense. I just don't think this is their year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But the only team that ever knocked them out when they was at their peak is the Golden State Warriors. And they had Kevin Durant, they had the Splash Brothers, and, no one could beat them when they was at, full and healthy. So I think that in their back of their heads, they thinking, look, if we can just stay healthy and get some momentum, play a little better defense, they got a realistic shot at coming out the Western Conference.
To me, size.
I'm going to challenge that one.
Yeah,
Me too.
I'm going to challenge.
I'm saying what they thinking.
He just challenged his own comment.
I'm saying that's what they think.
Yeah.
I was going to say, not the Warriors then, because they lost Christmas too, again. So it's really any Warriors, but the size too. It's like, if you got to be thinking, I got to beat the Lakers, right? I got to beat the Clippers. Yeah. How am I going to do that? Okay, I could shoot, I could score a bunch, great. But inside, when you look at what the Lakers are bringing to the table, Capella fouls out or gets into trouble. Look, Hartenstein's played great in his role. I don't want to play in 30 minutes, Stan. I mean, how are you going to do that?
No, listen, and I think the biggest problem, if you really they'll say all the right things. Right. James Harden, I think, has been great with that.
Yeah.
And he's been a good face of the franchise. I think right now he's got to be looking around with what the Clippers have and the Lakers have and saying, you know what, we don't have enough here. I think there's a lack of belief in Houston, not a lack of belief in their system or anything else. I think there's a lack of belief in them having enough talent to get it done.
I mean, look, being fair, if we're being honest with ourselves, if he had those pieces, do we know that then the game is going to adjust down to, like, LeBron could go score 60 points during, especially the heyday of his career, anytime he wants. I mean, he knew he wanted to get more involved. I got to, because he's looking at how am I going to win a championship? I need to trust that they trust themselves. Do we think if he had more that we're going to see more distributing of the basketball? I don't know why we would believe that that's going to change.
I just don't think, for me, just watching them over the years, realistically, they don't have a shot at winning a championship because they don't invest their time on the defensive end of the floor enough. You look at the rotations, and there's so many breakdowns on the second tier and the back line of the defense. You're sending everything to Capella and sometimes Tyson Chandler, who's a long in the tooth when he comes out there, and he's battle tested. But however, once Capella goes down, to Coach Point, who's the other guy? It's a huge drop-off. And now you're playing small ball with no defender at the rim. So I don't think they have a realistic shot if they're not hanging their hat on the defense.
They also, I go back to, like, baseball, the last of many scandals that I've covered. But when somebody said they misremembered, they might have misremembered how good Eric Gordon is, too, because I understand he was out. But, look, you want to say, hey, look, we want him getting used to the sixth man again and playing a bit. Whatever the moment is that he starts doesn't matter. Lou scores 30-plus again tonight, and he played a ton of minutes. But Gordon is such a huge key piece because you have to defensively. You're a great defender. Fear him because, all right, swing, allowed to go to, I don't want to name a name and make anyone feel bad, but Eric Gordon going to hurt you if you let him do that. And he hasn't really been used the same way. Stan. Well,
but he was hurt for a good part of the year, so that's going to take a little time, I think, to get him integrated back in. I don't see it. I mean, they would need to make a move, and I can't even tell you what that move is. Like, I just don't see them being to the level, certainly of the L.A. teams, but I think Utah and Denver are better than them. I think Dallas is better than them. I think they're the 6th best team in the West.
And I don't think, Coach, to your point, I don't think a lot of people, really want to sign up to this run track.
Mm-hmm. No.
I don't think, people run and sprint the floor for opportunities. And when you're just being a spacer and just standing there in limited possessions, you know what, this is not something I want to be.
You're a wide receiver on the Army football team, or back in the 80s, Peyton's going to run the ball, just kind of hang over here. Now, Willie Gault was faster than anyone on the field, but he didn't have to run very much. Hand the ball off all the time. For those of you who remember when football was good.
Run your route.
In Chicago. There's more coming up on Game Time. We'll continue to keep you posted. Robin Hood, and there was some dealing. Portland also saving some cash. Bays to Sacktown. Anthony Tolliver. How about 2 second-round picks? Let me tell you something. Business about to pick up. because this is a year where you kind of feel like, wow, everybody kind of, if you want to get into that upper, stratosphere, you might have to do something, but where are the sellers? And lots of confusion. Thankfully, Stan's here and Caron's here to fix it all. We play challenge or no challenge. If you agree with the statement, you don't challenge. If you don't agree, I want to see how you would challenge it. Thank you very much. And please, no explanation.
I've seen the players do that all the time.
Let's go out to L.A. Because Caron's here, so we try and go where the bread is buttered.
Yeah.
Challenge or no challenge, Caron, the Clippers need to be more active at the deadline than the Lakers do. No challenge.
No challenge.
Why?
I like what they have going, and because of Kawhi Leonard's load management throughout the course of the season, I think that you're not going to see the best version of them until him, PG-13, all those guys are out there together collectively. And they have a sliding lineup, as Doc Rivers would say. And I think that they love exactly what the nucleus is. They just have to continue to get those games under their belt.
So just health will be enough.
Health will be a strength.
See if Coach agrees. Challenge or no challenge. Clippers got to do more than the Lakers.
No, I agree. And the thing I like where I think they have an advantage is Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. Along with the two stars, they've got more options than the Lakers have on the offensive end of the floor. I worry a little bit about their interior defense.
I was going to say, you sure they don't need some size?
I worry about their interior defense a little, but not as much as I worry about the Lakers finding a second shot creator.
Oh, I like that. Okay, let's create some controversy. Let's go East Side first. Challenge or no challenge, Caron, the team that's a move away from being a serious finals contender from the East is the Celtics.
Challenge.
All right. Who is it? Why?
I think it's the 76ers. When I look at the 76ers,
you didn't feel very confident, Stan. He didn't sound confident about
I do. I think that they still need some outside shooting.
Yep.
I think they need to address the issue of how Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are going to coexist together out there on the court. And is Al Horford going to come off the bench? Is he going to be the feature guy off the bench, and you're going to feature him in that way? Because clearly, he can play and perform at a high level offensively still.
Stan, challenge or no challenge, if there's one team in the East could become a serious finals contender with a move, it's the Celtics.
No, I'm going to go with Caron again on this.
Oh, you have to do that.
Okay, I got to.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay,
I got to do it again, only because I think if Philadelphia could get somebody to help their offense, another wing type guy who could play on the move like they had in Redick last year, they're the one team I think can match up with Milwaukee size-wise and be able to make it tough on them. The other teams, even if they made a move, I think it would be difficult. I mean, look, in my mind, Milwaukee's way ahead of the pack out east right now. I don't think it's close. And so Philly's the only matchup team, but I don't really believe in them, to be honest.
All right. I didn't buy into either challenge. The replay is still being reviewed in Jersey somewhere. Let's get to challenge or no challenge, Caron. Let's go West Side. The team in the West that if there's one that can make a move and become a serious final contender in the West, challenge or no challenge, that team is Denver.
No, I don't think that Denver.
No. You don't say. Excuse me. And I've seen you play. When you thought that you were. I mean, if you really had the opportunity when you played to be
I'm
able
not
to challenge.
used to it. I just make a statement. But hey, I'm going.
Man, thank you.
Come on, look at that.
Yeah, the green light's on. The green light's
you got a green light on.
Put on your Beats by Dre and review that.
There you go. See? Fair enough. Why not? Why not Denver?
I still think that they're still missing some things. When you look at Murray, when you look at Joker, I don't think a huge piece can be acquired to help them get over the hump.
Is there another team in the West that you think would get to the status of the two LA teams if they had that move?
You know what? I look at Utah, and I really love what they do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think Utah is a complete basketball team. And if they're able to get another piece, which I don't think they will, but if they're able to, they can be a force to be reckoned with.
All right, Stan, challenge or no challenge. If there's a team in the West could get to that L.A. stratosphere with a move, that team's Denver.
I would challenge that.
And that's exactly how he did it with refs, too.
I would challenge that. But let me first say, I don't think anybody can get there to those two teams. I think the West is going to come down to those two teams. I think they're the two best offensive teams in the conference. I think they're the two best defensive teams in the conference. Even though Dallas is the number one offense right now, I think when we hit the playoffs, those two teams have all the answers.
Well, this is a good follow then, because we got time for one more, a bonus round. I'll start with you then, Coach. Challenge or no challenge, no matter what moves anyone makes or whatever happened in this segment, no one's beating the Lakers anyway.
Oh, I'll challenge that.
Oh, okay.
I'll challenge that.
Yes.
No, I'll challenge that. I think the Clippers and Lakers, I would have a hard time making a call between them right now, but they're certainly going to challenge the Lakers, and Milwaukee obviously can challenge anybody.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, to me, I'm not putting the Lakers ahead of those two teams. I'm putting those three teams in one group ahead of everybody else.
Way to keep the unknowns also helps the ratings. We appreciate that. Challenge or no challenge, Caron? You see it all the time. You're challenging. Why?
Yeah, well, I say this. If the Lakers get that other playmaker, which we was talking about, Coach, and I think they will, it could potentially be Darren Collison, maybe a Derrick Rose may come available, or one of those guys. And if you're able to acquire a talent like that and add that to the nucleus, the Lakers will win a championship.
Just to test the buzzer one more time, Caron, you played for him. Challenge or no challenge, Stan not as calm when he actually challenged referees about anything as he is here. Is that
Come on! I never challenged referees. I respected the job they were doing out there, and at times I might politely disagree.
Cut him off.
But they're the best referees in the world.